back to the Agronomy Answers podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be doing another segment of blind rankings. And this time I have Matt Thompson joining me, the Hefty Naturals brand manager. And what we're going to discuss today is you're going to blind rank 5 naturals products. So you don't know what they are. You're going to have to explain what the product is and why you're placing it 1 through 5 on the list. And I'll just start off with the first one is BioPrep.
BioPrep. Wow. Okay. So BioPrep is a product that we sell. It's kind of nichey in the sense that if a customer doesn't have chlorinated water or is not going to put a living organism into the water source, the product's not really meant for them. So I'm going to say 5 because I'm a little bit nervous on the other products that are coming here. But BioPrep is a super cool product for us because if a grower does have chlorinated water and they are going to run a living organism in that tank, we can convert chlorine to chloride, and it's an instant reaction. So if a grower is running, say, 5 gallons to the acre in furrow and they're using water as a carrier, 2 ounces of BioPrep will treat 100 gallons of water. The cost on that is going to be less than 10 cents an acre. And it's just an insurance policy to ensure that there's no chlorine in that water source, and chlorine's job is to kill microorganisms. So BioPrep's been a really fun product in a sense that it solves a solution of making sure the water doesn't kill our product.
All right, we'll see if you like it at 5. Our next one up is NutriCharge Power Plant.
Ooh.
And the best part is you don't know what's going to come next.
So I'm going to say NutriCharge Power Plant is going to be number 3. Give myself a little upside here. So NutriCharge Power Plant. This is a different one, Zach. Probably one of the fastest growing categories in the marketplace from an application standpoint is planter box. So, we know that in total across the United States for corn and soybean acres, about 30 to 35% of growers across the United States have capabilities for in-furrow. Well, a lot of these products do better by being in-furrow than any other application we can provide. So if a grower doesn't have in-furrow capabilities, they're not going to be able to see the benefit of some of these products. Handful of years ago, we launched a product called NutriShield in the market in the fall of 2020, where we combined some of our foundational products into a planter box. That was kind of our first option into that planter box space. Pretty much every grower has to put talc and graphite into their planter box to ensure that they get good seed lubrication and seed flow throughout that planter. So NutriCharge Power Plant came out a year ago. We've tested it for a couple of years. It combines the technology of NutriCharge, which is a chemistry-based solution that holds phosphorus from being tied up. The product or the chemistry base has the ability to capture 65 times its weight in calcium. So one of the biggest enemies when it comes to phosphorus availability in a soil profile is calcium phosphate, because once calcium and phosphate bind together, it's pretty much a done deal. In the case of NutriCharge, it gives us the ability to tie up that positive charged ion with calcium to let phosphorus be freely moving within its pool of availability. What's different, though, about Power Plant versus any other product in the marketplace is NutriCharge Power Plant uses microalgae as its carrier mechanism. So it is one of the only products that I know of in the market that does not use talc as its carrier. So microalgae is a phenomenal food source for native biology in the soil. And with the combination of NutriCharge, it actually sticks onto the seed better than typical talc and graphite. We did some dust-off studies this year, and what's crazy is a 3-ounce use rate per unit of seed for NutriCharge Power Plant had 50%, nearly 50% less dust-off than somebody running 2 ounces of talc and graphite on that same unit of seed. So when we think about the user health aspect of maybe the talc and graphite space, this is a product that absolutely fits into seed lubrication and seed flow, and it's a more quality product that's delivering something more than just talc and graphite.
And it's at number 3 on your list right
right.
now. The next up is Decomp.
Decomp. So Decomp in last year, so Decomp used to be a huge selling product for us. It was a liquid. Last year, we switched it over to a dry formulation. And by us being able to deliver a dry formulation to market, we no longer have a smell. We no longer have jugs that are creating marshmallows because they're expanding and growing with all the carbon dioxide that it's releasing. It's a more stable formulation. and it's great for residue management. I'm going to put decomp at number 4. So dry decomp is the combination of fungi, the combination of bacteria, and probably the most important category, enzymes. So naturally, when bacteria and fungi interact in the soil, how they break nutrients down, how they release those nutrients from organic matter or residue is by the excretion of enzymes. Okay, enzymes are what's ultimately doing all the dirty work of a lot of these biologicals. So we learn that we can overload the system with enzymes to speed up getting a crop or getting a product to respond to a crop. Fungi and bacteria natively, naturally make their own enzymes, but it takes a while for them to come out of dormancy, begin to establish, and begin to replicate in order to make those enzymes. When we put enzymes into the jug, it's an instant response. So enzymes are non-living. They're there to do one purpose. And once that purpose has been done, that enzyme's responsibility is done and over with. So you've got to have the fungi and bacteria there to continue to replicate, to make new enzymes. But if we can put enzymes in a container like dry decomp, it helps us get a leg up over native fungi and bacteria in the market.
So based on how our research has gone and how our plots have gone, these last two are going to be interesting for you. The second to last one is extricate.
Extricate. Okay. So extricate actually came out before NutriCharge. Extricate is a super aggressive organic acid that a root system naturally is going to make. And what extricate's job is to do is to force the release of phosphorus from calcium and magnesium. Now, the difference here is NutriCharge ties up the bond of calcium and magnesium. So extricate forces a pH drop in the soil, and it's something that the root system is already doing. The root system is naturally releasing root exudates. In those root exudates are root acids. Those organic acids from the root are dropping the pH, and that's ultimately what you're getting out of extricate. So in comparison, extricate and NutriCharge kind of run hand in hand together. What we're learning is when we get into really high magnesium soils, extricate might be a better fit than NutriCharge. I'm stuck here, right? Because now I got to put extricate at number 2, which means it's better than power plant. I wish I could go back and change that and say power plant is 2 and extricate is number 3, because I think NutriCharge power plant, just from an overall usability, it's because it's on the planter box side. It's got unlimited acres from an access standpoint, where extricate's a lot more nichey to the high mag soils and for that in-furrow use.
Yeah, which is just a good explanation to talk about each thing. And you can switch up your list at the end too. Okay. So your last one you're going to get is MegaGrow.
I knew this one was coming. So MegaGrow is always going to be number 1 for me. MegaGrow is an incredible product. It's very few times where I can go to a grower. There's ultimately 3 products that I think I could go to a grower in our portfolio and say, it's really hard to mess this up. MegaGrow is number 1. So if you're going to run a foliar herbicide, putting MegaGrow in the tank is going to minimize the response, that the tax that plant is going to have to pay to process and metabolize that herbicide. And we talked about this on another episode, right? The herbicide tax. That's ultimately what MegaGrow is going to do. Now, MegaGrow's got a lot of other uses in the market, but for us, the best product, the best timing, the best application is to put it in the tank with the first foliar herbicide pass. It's our most consistent product. We don't typically lose when we go into the market with that product, and the growers that use it time over time continue to use that product because what it's ultimately doing by minimizing the herbicide tax.
So your blind ranked on these 5 naturals products went MegaGrow, Extricate, NutriCharge Power Plant, Decomp, and BioPrep.
Yep.
On Matt Thompson's revised list, what would you switch that? Would you change anything?
The only one I would change is moving Extricate to 3 and moving Power Plant to 2. And the reason why, again, is Power Plant's just a more diverse product because every grower is going to have to put something in the planter box for lubrication and seed flow. Power Plant is a great option for those growers to do that.
So you put together a good list overall, pretty solid list, and thanks for all the explanations.
Yeah.
It helps make it a little bit easier why you're picking 1 through 5, how you do.
Yep.
And thank you for watching or listening to this episode of the Agronomy Answers podcast, where we blind ranked naturals product.